So this video was originally going to be an iceberg, but by the time I had got done editing with everything, I didn't really want to have to go back and change a lot of stuff. So bear in mind, the beginning of this is with iceberg in mind, but as it progresses, it's more of just showing off lesser known myths, Easter eggs, legends, whatever, in GTA San Andreas. So please enjoy the video, stick around to the end. There's some things in there that I didn't even know while I was researching this. So growing up playing Grand Theft Auto San Andreas was an amazing feeling. The sense of excitement, a world that's not explored yet, lesser internet access, if you will. Having a world like Grand Theft Auto San Andreas was just a magical experience. Having little to no access during that time, I chose my few times that I did have access to see what other people were doing on that game. What I saw were people finding Bigfoot, people finding aliens and dancing with them, the girl from Ring. It's all kind of crazy, but today's video is an iceberg about all the things that I was told was true as a child, and it turns out they're not. So strap in, guys. This is the Grand Theft Auto San Andreas iceberg. I have put all of these things in their own tiers myself, so if you disagree with it, if you like it, just leave a comment. Definitely make sure to subscribe to the channel. I really want to make YouTube more full-time for me. And let's get into it. So starting out as what is predominantly known as the Grand Theft Auto San Andreas myth is Bigfoot. Located in Back O' Beyond, Shady Cabin, Round Mount Gilead, players began reporting a huge hairy creature wandering around the forest shortly after the game's release. Supposed sightings described it as extremely tall, brown/black, running through the woods, disappearing when approached, and sometimes attacking CJ. Screenshots and videos circulated showing Bigfoot standing among the trees, but Bigfoot's not actually in the original game. The overwhelming majority of supposed evidence was created with mods, edited images, or misidentified objects. Rockstar eventually confirmed that Bigfoot wasn't even actually in the game. But they did eventually embrace the fact of how giant the myth was, that they put Bigfoot into not only Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare.
You eat babies!
But they also put Bigfoot into the 100% mission of Grand Theft Auto 5.
What the fuck was that? What do you want it to be?
I'm gonna show y'all what I used to see as like the definitive proof as these myths go on and the Easter eggs and stuff like that. So here's the Bigfoot video that kind of blew up whenever I was a kid. So next up on the iceberg, we actually have Leatherface / the Chainsaw Killer. Supposedly located in the Panopticon, this rumor claimed that Leatherface-like killer from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre wandered around the Panopticon at night. The Panopticon is like this giant wooded area with a bunch of barns and stuff at the top of like the little dirt place next to the beach in Los Santos. And the legend became particularly convincing because there's chainsaws in the area. The Panopticon is extremely creepy at night. Players claim to hear chainsaw noises. The isolated cabins I was talking about, like barns and stuff like that. The area contains strange environmental details, like blood and stuff on the ground inside the barns. It's also rumored that if you go to the panopticon and leave your game running all night, by the time you wake up in real life and look at your game, CJ will be at the hospital, which is kind of crazy if you think about it, because there's like 30 million thousand ways to die in San Andreas. So yeah, it's rough. It's a rough one, but here it is. So next up, we actually have the Mothman, which that's around like Mount Chiliad / the countryside. It's another enormous myth from the game. Players claim that a winged creature could be seen flying around Mount Chiliad, or during like thunderstorms, or whenever like a bad accident happens or a plane crash, just like in real life. Some descriptions that players have given it say that it has glowing eyes, it follows you around, flies around the mountain, could be seen from extremely far away, which in the original San Andreas I just don't believe at all. The only thing that could describe why it's in the game is because of mods. There's no actual internal files for it. I never actually saw this one growing up. It's kind of a newer one that I figured out, but apparently it was super popular while the game was still like, relatively new. But we'll get some video on that right here. So next we have UFOs. This one is interesting. There aren't conventional flying UFO vehicles roaming San Andreas in the original game. However, Rockstar deliberately created UFO-themed environmental clues. The biggest is the Lilprobeinn. Contains UFO pictures, pictures of aliens, a map showing supposed UFO sightings, and strange photographs. The location is basically Rockstar deliberately saying, yeah, people here believe in UFOs. So the UFO conspiracy is real as an Easter egg, but the claim that you can actually encounter flying UFOs in normal gameplay is false. Not only did they put the Lilprobeinn next to the Area 69, but like I said before, in the Bigfoot section, the picture or the video that had all the aliens dancing and then Claude comes up is about as early as I get for like the alien / UFO stuff. So here's that full snippet. So the next one we got is ghost cars. They're located around Baco Beyond, Shady Creeks, Flint County, Angel Pine Junkyard, Lilprobeinn, Tierra Robada, Valle Ocultado, Las Payasadas, and Abandoned Dock. This is one of the few, urban legends Easter eggs that are proven. So there are two variants of the Glendale car and the Sadler pickup truck, respectively called Glen Shit and Sad Shit, in the game's internal files, that frequently appear in the wilderness areas or around abandoned buildings. These vehicles differ from their normal models because all their body panels, bumpers, and doors are dented. The damage cannot be repaired by visiting a pay and spray or by using cheats, as the damage is actually part of the car's model. These damaged cars are nicknamed beaters by players. A pair of beater Glendales that spawn in on the woods behind Baco Beyond are known to move on their own. They spawn on the side of a steep hill and slide to the bottom of the hill as soon as they spawn, make it appear as if they're driving by themselves. This phenomenon can be witnessed at any time in the location in Baco Beyond. It's unknown if the cars were just an oversight or if the game developers implemented this on purpose. The exact location where these cars spawn in Baco Beyond, just south of a rock formation shaped like two horseshoes on the map. Many fan-made videos show the cars whirring to life with their lights turning on and attempting to run down the player. While this happens, the car is immune to damage and will not stop unless the player is killed. No evidence that supports these videos' validity has ever been found. So next we do have the Gant Bridge Easter egg, which, when it comes to San Andreas, that is like the most Easter eggiest Easter egg you can get, because it's there, everybody can find it, all you need is a jetpack, get to the top of the bridge, and it says, there are no Easter eggs up here. So, yeah, that's it for this intro. I don't really know what else to say. Alright, so next we have Catalina's cabin. Her cabin overlooks the town of Dillamore, lying inconspicuously hidden among the trees. Sheltered by a tall ridge at the rear of the property, animal skins and wheel hubcaps hang from the roof of the porch. Bullet holes pepper the windows, and a rusted Walton sits in the makeshift car shelter. On the front porch of the property are quite prominent bloodstains, which bear striking resemblance to those found at the Panopticon. Catalina's buffalo will sometimes spawn to the right of the house. The house cannot be entered, and its interior is never even seen, even in cutscenes. No version of her house interior has been found as of yet. After the mission King in Exile, the cabin serves as a save point. To the left of the house lies 3 graves and a shovel pickup, implying Catalina killed the 3 husbands she claims to have had and buried them by her house. The cabin is located in a Bigfoot hotspot, and some players have reported seeing ghosts around the cabin, but there's yet to be conclusive evidence for this claim. Next up, we have the mass grave located in the desert. The grave is a large hole dug up approximately 6 to 12 feet deep in the ground at the base of a large mesa formation in the northern Bone County desert. A bobcat pickup truck sits in front of the hole in a position implying the bodies were previously loaded into the truck bed and brought to the location before the suspects were interrupted and abandoned the vehicle in haste or simply left it behind. So the suspects for this grave are either Mr. Trenchcoat. He has long been believed to be the person responsible for the mass grave. Players theorize he lives in a small house on a dirt track just off the main road running south between El Quebrados and Las Barrancas, and regularly kills other pedestrians, dumping their bodies in the grave. They go on to link the type of vehicle that spawns near a suspected place of residence with what appears to the mass grave. However, this piece of evidence is incorrect, as the vehicle that spawns near the house is a Sadler and not a Bobcat. Despite being labeled a serial killer, Mr. Trenchcoat is likely someone suffering from alcoholism and possibly brought on by trauma as a result of an extraterrestrial encounter of the 4th kind. The Sindaco families are another suspect because players have theorized the pit's a body dumping ground for the Mafia families. A major piece of evidence to this theory can be seen in the introduction. a standalone movie included with some versions of the game.
Hey, how's your woman?
She's a ball buster. Ever since we moved to Ventura's, all she wants to do, spend, spend, spend. For Christ's sakes, I got better luck on the tables.
Yeah, I hear you. Hey, give me a hand with this guy, will you?
Yeah. Whew. I mean, why do we whack Mickey anyhow? He was a stand-up guy.
I don't know, something about money.
What, he was on the take?
Nah, he was kosher. A little too kosher. That's why he had to go.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah, he was declaring too much money. So we gotta get a new guy in. You know, I hear the Leones are lending the bosses some money.
The Leones?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here. We hate the Leones.
I know. That's what I said to Johnny. He said they needed the money. Wanna note they dirtball. So, Mickey gets kept, so we get a new guy in, who everybody bullies. Then, when he misbehaves...
we dig another hole.
Exactly. Hey, you hear about Bobby back east?
Nah, what?
He's gone queer. Can you believe that shit?
Oh, mother of Christ almighty, I seen everything.
In the video, two Sindako family gangsters can be seen digging a grave in the desert. However, they're shown attempting to dispose of only one corpse, and the exact location the thugs were shown to be digging is proven to be elsewhere in Bone County, on a ridge west of the Desert Research Lab. The other one could be Mary Beth Maybell, which is another suspect myth hunters have theorized to be responsible for. She's the host of the radio station K-Rose. During one of her broadcasts, she says that she has 6 husbands, all of which are now 6 feet under. Players were quick to link the number of her husbands to the number of body bags in the mass grave. Mary Beth also announces that she broadcasts from somewhere in Bone County, placing her closer to the proximity of the grave.
There's one thing I believe in my marriages, it's Darwinism. Survival of the fittest. So far, I've buried 9 of the bastards. I'm Mary Beth on K-Rose. All kinds of things happen on the prairie. Sometimes you stand by your man. Other times your bush is burning. I keep moving on, you know. After someone's gone and died on me, I have to leave a place. Sometimes under cover of darkness, having changed my name. Doesn't that make you want to square dance or just load up a rifle and kill some idiot?
At one point in her show, she also reveals that she drives a truck, which players have theorized to be the Bobcat near the grave. She's the one that I expect to be it the most, but you guys can be the verdict of that. It's most likely that the mass grave is an Easter egg by Rockstar intended to reference real-life mafias from Las Vegas, who disposed of the bodies of their enemies in the city's surrounding deserts. Next up, we have Angel on Rock. Angel on Rock is a large boulder that's found in the intersection of 2 unnamed roads in Flint County, near the entrance of the Truth's Farm in Leafy Hollow. On one side of the rock formation is a mirrored image vaguely resembling a humanoid figure. The image is often considered to be that of an angel or another winged creature. There have been reported sightings of angels in the game, and the Angel Rock is often considered a hint towards their existence. Although most sightings take place on the peak of Mount Chiliad, others claim it serves as a marker that points in the true direction of angels. Some players have identified it as the Mothman or Pyramid Head, which is kind of insane. This could be a tourist attraction, as a nearby town is called Angel Pine. The rock could be a symbol or a namesake for the town. Some players can also see the figure having breasts, a possible reference to adult humor. The myth may be the result of an optical illusion, but it's most likely caused by 2 textures coming together to form an illusion. The rock shares the same 2 textures on the left and right side of the rock, and they're mirrored, creating a crude shape of an angel. This is a phenomenon known as pareidolia, where the human mind tries to find familiar shapes in random images. The Shady Cabin is a small abandoned cabin in the wooded area of the Shady Creeks in Whetstone. It's one of the most famous locations in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. The cabin itself is relatively small. It's mostly made up of wooden planks and a tin roof. It also features a small porch. The structure is strange because it's built in the middle of the forest near Sasquatch Creek. It's never featured in any part of the game's storyline, so its purpose in the game is questionable. Also at night, there's a strange glow that's lit from somewhere within the cabin, even though there's no light fixture or lamp anywhere in the room. Many myths originate from this cabin. It's commonly reported that Piggsy, Jason, Ghostface, the werewolf, and Leatherface are found in the surrounding area and sometimes occupy the cabin. Bigfoot and woods creature have also been reported in the Shady Creeks area. A quad bike spawns next to the cabin, and many mods use this location as a starting point for missions where the players must find and kill Bigfoot and other mythical creatures. The Mount Chiliad cabin is identical in appearance to this shady cabin. In early 2024, it was discovered that the cabin did serve a purpose in the early stages of the game's development. The cabin would be a plot of a land that the player could buy and transform into a proper business. There would be many such places across the map, but the whole idea and feature was dropped when Rockstar switched from the Vice City engine to the San Andreas engine, which did not allow such changes to the map. The Panopticon is a prominent mythical location in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. It's an abandoned sawmill located on a hill in Red County, near the town of Blueberry. The Panopticon is an area that is relatively open, set in the dense forest on a hill. There are various shacks with few blood-like textures situated around the hill, and many tree stumps and logs litter the area. The logging site appeared to be very busy and profitable at one point, but it was abandoned for unknown reasons. Many myths center around this area, such as the myth of Leatherface, the masked antagonist from the horror film The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. One of the shacks has been covered with bloodstains on the floor. Either this was the work of Leatherface, or there was little to no safety standards. However, as the Panopticon served Blueberry as a logging camp, there is a possibility that the supposed blood is just tree sap. There's a chainsaw that spawns on the hill, and also a beater Glendale spawns in one of the shacks. Sometimes, a vortex spawns in one of the shacks. It has been speculated that the vortex may also help the victims to escape from the killer. The definition of the word Panopticon is a large circular-shaped prison which is designed in a way so that a watchman will be able to observe all inmates at once.
A hole in you, huh?
Beverly Johnson was killed in 1992 in a drive-by shooting carried out by the Ballas gang. Beverly was aimed to be standing on the left side of the house when killed, which explains the wooden board nailed across. She was also said to be facing the window looking outside. Some players have reported seeing the ghost of Beverly Johnson, CJ's deceased mother, inside of the Johnson house on Grove Street at night. The ghost allegedly walked down the stairs in and around the living room, and in some accounts even attacked the player. Many players claim that there is an increased chance of the ghost spawning in if the in-game day is Friday, or if the player sets their computer clock to Halloween. If the player throws a grenade in the Johnson house, large transparent squares appear over objects in the house, which disappear over time. These squares could be mistaken for the ghost. Players have also reported her ghost to be seen in the Vinewood Cemetery also, where she's buried. Many players have also linked the ghost graffiti painted on the wall of the Vinewood Cemetery to Beverly. A pedestrian with the same model as Beverly's photo can be found in Los Santos and Las Venturas. Overall, there's insufficient evidence for this myth to be confirmed. An interview with Rockstar employee for Electronic Gaming Monthly also said that the ghost was not in the game. A majority of the images and videos that have circulated online claiming to show the ghost are in fact modifications. This one would scare the hell out of me all the time as a kid, simply for the fact that CJ's house is super quiet, you can hear the wood creaking, and when you're just by yourself, it just kinda, I don't know, it kinda gives you that eerie feeling. The ghost train is one of the few proven myths in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Since the release of the game, there have been rumors of a supposed ghost train that randomly spawns along any of the railroad tracks in the game. Apparently the train will switch tracks without warning and attempt to run down the player. However, this myth is very unfounded and the details are quite lacking, and it's very unlikely that the myth is true. Trains cannot switch tracks in San Andreas, since the two tracks constantly run parallel to each other and never cross at any point in the statewide rail system, except Prickle Pine, although it's just temporary. In 2008, a user named Normangabor found that a ghost train does exist, but it's totally different than the one explained previously. In the mission Snail Trail, when CJ starts to follow the train and reaches the first tunnel, a second train on the right track starts coming towards him. If the player decides to follow that train, once they reach the Cranberry Station, the train will directly move to the right side and start floating on air. It will keep going straight until it reaches the tracks where Big Smoke finished killing the Vagos in the mission wrong side of the tracks. Then it'll start moving on the ground as a usual train would. This glitch was obviously almost impossible for anyone to ever discover because no one would follow that train for no reason. Since this video was seen by a lot less audience, it never got light of the community. Later in 2014, another YouTube user named X3D proved it. Because of this new evidence, the ghost train is considered proven. Zombie planes are a glitch that are present in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. It involves the AT-400, a large commercial passenger airplane that can be regularly seen flying over San Andreas. The AT-400 is a large airplane that commonly spawns flying over urban areas around the state, especially airports. If the player tries to shoot the AT-400 down with any weapon, the airplane will explode and plummet to the ground like any other airplane normally would. However, when the AT-400 hits the ground, it will amusingly begin to bounce and spiral continuously, as if it is still trying to get back into the air. The AT-400 will freeze mid-air, and this bizarre glitch is a proven phenomenon. The glitch occurs because the game is having a conflict between the plane's AI and the game trying to process the fact that the plane has actually been shot down. Unlike most planes, the AT-400 does not have proper coding for crashing due to its immense size. There are two ways to repeat this glitch. The first and easiest method is to obtain a Hydra and wait for an AT-400 to spawn near the player. Then the player must immediately get airborne and shoot the AT-400 down with its Hydra rockets. A more difficult method of exploiting this glitch is to shoot the AT-400 from the ground with a heat-seeking rocket launcher. Next we have the Rockstar Constellation. In GTA Vice City and San Andreas, a large constellation representing the Rockstar Games logo can be seen in the night sky. A series of 10 smaller stars create the shape of an R, while a very bright star at the lower right creates the star from Rockstar's logo. It's the only constellation visible in the sky except in GTA San Andreas, where 2 bright stars can be found on the opposite half of the sky. The high visibility of the constellation makes it one of the most well-known Easter eggs in the GTA series. It's also been investigated by myth hunters on hunts related to UFOs and the mysterious Planet X, but it serves no purpose in the game other than a decoration. In the radio show Area 53, Marvin Trill talks about a recently discovered planet, but doesn't mention any details with regard to the planet. However, on his website, Marvin Trill discusses migrating to a planet in his spaceship due to apocalyptic and alien threats. Steve Henderson, in his blog, mentions that the secret planet is known as Planet X. These strange talks have led players to ponder over the existence of such a planet in the game. Some players have theorized that the planet is located somewhere in the Rockstar constellation. However, no such planet has ever been found in the game or its internal files. Coincidentally, dwarf planet Eris was also discovered right after the game's release. Although the official discovery was announced in January 2005, it was a debated subject since October 2003 when it was first observed. This may be possible that the concept of Planet X is based off Eris. And if you don't know who Marvin Trill is, he's a recurring unseen character in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas and Grand Theft Auto 4. He's the host of the conspiracy radio show Area 53 in San Andreas, and the operator of a website in GTA 4. He's based on Art Bell, the host of Coast to Coast AM, a radio show that covers topics like Area 51 and aliens. Steve Henderson is the creator of the blog in GTA 4 that talks about Planet X. Area 53, posted December 28, 1999. My friends, fellow believers, shutting down my radio show was not something I did lightly. I have received your letters of sadness from throughout the country. Thanks to the many incarcerated listeners who have sent pictures and shivs. It was out of necessity to end this, and that it is inevitable what is about to happen, and I must protect myself and my research from harm. Thanks to the guys at Lies Damn Lies and domistopbotlovers.com for the rally they held in support of me throughout this rocket summer. I have prepared my ship, as I call my underground bunker, in preparation for what will be an apocalypse of catastrophic, planet-wide proportions. Y2K is very real, and those that do not prepare will perish. Nostradamus, Cicero, and even Abraham Lincoln predicted this day. The day when computers would fuck mankind sideways, and I for one am not going down like a spaceship in the desert and to be left to rot. My robot creations and I have been digging for 5 years. The day has come. The million-year picnic begins, my friends. I will emerge 10 years from now to take us to that new place, with a new radio show and the wisdom I've gained from living underground with my robot friends. Has the future already happened someplace else? Don't believe what they tell you. It begins here. As I close the hatch, remember what I've taught you. Grant and good luck. Marvin Trill, December 28th, 1999 at 11:38 p.m. Somewhere in the desert. Zombotech is a company in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Their corporate headquarters, with an unseen underground lab, are found in a large semi-enterable office tower in downtown San Fierro. They're currently engrossed in sinister zombie virus research. This one had me all over the place as a kid, because growing up loving Resident Evil and all that, seeing this kind of like blew me over the moon. The lobby is housed in a small Beaux-Arts atrium that attaches to a modern tower. The inside features a sculpture of a DNA strand, possibly hinting that human DNA is being altered to make zombies. The tower itself has an open air cutout in the center of its core to allow sunlight in. At the back of the building are elevators that go to the underground labs for zombie research. One of the signs in the building proves the corporation is actually working on a zombie virus, stating, Zombotech's sinister zombie virus research corporation welcomes visitors. Whether zombies actually exist within the game is debated. Some pedestrians in the game do resemble them. About halfway up the DNA strand is a snapshot collectible, possibly contributing to the speculation about the building. Inside the building, there's a diagram of the Zombotech Corporation building, and it clearly indicates that there is an underground bunker beneath the building. The picture just might be here to give the impression that the building is bigger than it looks, and that there might be secret tests or laboratories inside the bunker. However, there's only one known bunker in the game, and it's Area 69. If the player enters Blue Hell and flies under the building, there'll be nothing there. Technically, this proves very little, as interiors are generally placed much further from the building they're supposedly inside. However, the elevator does not seem to be animated or any more than a decoration, so it's unlikely that there's any more than the first floor. Furthermore, there is no interior that exists within the Interiors universe that looks anything like a secret lab. The building is pretty much a reference to Umbrella from Resident Evil, and where the myths came in were when people started uploading videos of zombies and Nemesis from Resident Evil 3 coming out of the building and attacking them.
Now we.
Before a time like now, when Rockstar's bread and butter couldn't be touched, with series like Saints Row and unfortunately Mind's Eye trying to combat them and failing, back in the early 2000s that was a little bit of a different story. There used to be a game called Driver, and from 2000 to 2004, Rockstar and Refractions, which is the company that made Driver, had a small little back and forth throughout their games, poking fun at each other. And in 2004 with San Andreas, the rivalry ended, but not after Rockstar put in the mission Mad Dog's Rhymes. One of Mad Dog's guards can be seen playing a video game, and makes a couple of comments. "Tanner, you suck ass," and "How could Refractions mess up so bad?" And that's a reference to Driver's real-world reception. It was one of the worst reviewed entries in the Driver line. The games recovered with their reputation somewhat in 2011 with Driver San Francisco, but that was the last major entry, and by then it was no longer thought of as a Grand Theft Auto's competitor. The latter series had already become too successful and expensively designed to be touched. GTA 4 cost over $100 million to make, and GTA 5 $265 million, eclipsing budgets of the biggest movies.
This sucks! I mean, how can Refractions mess up so bad? Tanner, you suck ass!
True Grime Street Cleaners is a sanitation business that appears in GTA. It's advertised on billboards around the state of San Andreas, and its slogan is "Get rid of old rubbish fast." And its name is a parody of the GTA clone True Crime Streets of LA. It may be a reference to the term that police officers are occasionally referred to as garbage men with badges. The billboards are probably in retaliation to True Crime, which featured billboard for jockstraps in the game, which parodied the Rockstar logo. True Grime is also a cheat for summoning a Trash Master on the PC version. There's another diss for True Crime and Driver in GTA San Andreas. It is the Opposition Memorial. The graveyard consists of 3 plateaus with 72 graves in total. Plaques with all the honored names are attached to the walls next to the 2 lower plateaus. The memorial looks like a graveyard for war casualties, but upon looking closely, the player will see the text RIP Opposition, 1997 to 2004, written on each gravestone. This implies that San Andreas has killed the competition, represented by games such as Driver and True Crime. The dates refer to the release of Grand Theft Auto in '97 and San Andreas in '04. Above it is the Rockstar Games coat of arms, which consists of the name of a company and a Roman numeral of 1998, showing that it was founded in the said year. Other features of the seal with the letter R, an Old English, capsule-like symbol, brass knuckles, and an olive tree with a star in the middle of it. 2 lions on the left and right side, and a banner with Latin words on it. Scott Wilson was a war veteran who died in the Korean War and was given the Medal of Honor. Scott Wilson's remains were buried in the Drive-Thru Confessions Church in Palomino Creek, Red County. This is an Easter egg referencing Rockstar employee Scott Wilson, who largely worked on the countryside textures for GTA San Andreas. However, in the world of myth hunting, Scott Wilson's grave serves as an obscure myth. Players have reported observing strange activities around the tombstone, including inexplicable glows, one of which is located inside a particular grave in the graveyard. Myth hunters believe that Scott Wilson's ghost is indirectly responsible for the strange happenings in the area in order to send an unknown message to the intruder in the graveyard. It's been rumored that after midnight, the player might observe a strange green glow on Scott's grave. Nothing more is known about Wilson's background except that he can be assumed as a Catholic due to the cross symbol on his grave, along with the denomination of the church containing the graveyard. Las Brujas, also known as the Ghost Town, is located near the Sherman Dam between El Castillo del Diablo and Arco del Oeste, rock formations in Bone County. The town is the site of a famous myth, the Ghost Town figure. Las Brujas is Spanish for the witches. The town is depicted as a small settlement populated with wooden buildings appearing as a Wild West town. The town also features a small chapel and a fenced-in graveyard with tombstones in a state of disrepair and partially buried under the sand. The graveyard has a hole dug out near its exterior, which was used during the mission High Noon, but appears both before and after the mission is completed. The ghost town appears to have been abandoned long before the setting of the game. The town also contains an old cemetery where the ghost town figure is said to appear. It is featured in the mission High Noon, in which Officer Jimmy Hernandez is killed by Pulaski for attempting to save Carl and buried in the town graveyard. He was killed for selling Crash to Eternal Affairs. However, Pulaski is then killed by Carl, and ghosts of both men are also said to appear at the cemetery. The town is a frequent area for Mothman sightings, as the jagged rock formations in the area can cause planes to crash. Overall, almost any myth associated with the desert is claimed to spawn from this area. Players have reported seeing a strange black figure walking around the cemetery in Las Brujas at night. The figure is said to disappear suddenly if the player gets too close. There are various pictures and videos online showing what players think that the ghost town figure is. Players usually describe the figure to be an old lady. In fact, most of the online videos of the so-called ghost town figure show the figure walking with an old woman's slow walking animation. It's possible that the ghost town figure is just an ordinary woman pedestrian with a black texture. Other players have claimed that the ghost figure carries a chainsaw or other weapon, of course, and attacks the player if they wander too close to the cemetery. If the player drives a police vehicle for long enough, they'll hear a dispatch possibly related to the ghost. Another officer will claim that we got a hysterical old woman in Las Brujas. Says she's a witch or something. Alright, so next up we have suicidal pedestrians, also known as falling lemmings. The most famous suicidal pedestrian is that of the suicidal photographer. This pedestrian spawns on the shore next to the inlet on Flint County between the countryside and Los Santos. This pedestrian can be seen kneeling down and taking photos of the Los Santos skyline across the inlet. Then they will suddenly stand up and begin to walk off onto a small precipice and fall into the water, where they will drown. This is most likely a result of a pathfinding glitch, in which the pedestrian attempts to walk directly towards the nearest pedestrian pathway, which is across the ocean in Los Santos. At the southwest part of the Emerald Island Casino in Las Venturas, there's a small corner of the building that slightly sticks out into the sidewalk. Pedestrians may sometimes spawn onto the roof of this building due to a spawn glitch, and they will walk off the edge of the building and fall to their deaths onto the streets below. This is because the corner of the building disrupts the pedestrian's path on the sidewalk below, and sometimes pedestrians may spawn on the roof by accident. There are many strange pedestrian spawn glitches that may occur inside the Caligula's palace. If the player is one level of 2 stars or more, and the player goes to the roof of the casino, policemen will appear on the roof in large amounts and will be shooting at the player. Attempting to get close to the policemen will result in them backing away from the player, and this could lead to them backing off the edge of the roof and falling to their deaths. Random pedestrians may sometimes spawn on the roof of the casino and will be walking around. Their paths are completely random, and some of the pedestrians may walk off the edge and fall to their death. If the player enters the casino and kills as many pedestrians as possible, and then goes to the roof of the casino, the same pedestrians that they killed inside the building will fall from the sky and land on the roof of the casino. This glitch is related to the interior of the casino, which is located far above the casino in the Hidden Interiors universe. If the player kills the pedestrians in the interior and then exits the building, the dead pedestrians will fall from the interior in the sky and land on the roof of the building. This glitch will only work if the player is not dating Michelle. The player should go to the San Fierro driving school in Doherty and enter it. Inside, Michelle Cans can be found talking to another pedestrian. If the player then exits the interior and climbs to the roof of the driving school, the same pedestrian that was talking to Michelle will fall from the sky and land on the roof of the building. This glitch is also related to the driving school's interior, which is located high above the driving school in the Hidden Interiors universe. In the Cluck and Bell restaurant, located in Los Santos, just north of Grove Street, pedestrians may accidentally spawn at the top of a power line pole in front of the restaurant. The pedestrians will then walk off it, land on the ground below, but the fall is rarely high enough to cause a significant decrease in the pedestrian's health. In the easternmost area of Santa Maria Beach, pedestrians can spawn on top of a palm tree. The pedestrian will walk towards the sidewalk and fall, taking a minuscule amount of damage. The spawn happens because the palm tree extends a little bit onto the sidewalk where the pedestrian pathway is. The Midnight Clown myth originated from a horror tale by reymythhunter on YouTube describing an incident with a peculiar kind of clown called the Midnight Clown. The Midnight Clown is distinguished from the commonly cited killer clowns due to a number of peculiar traits. The Midnight Clown manifests, and the clown, unlike other killer clowns, is subject to only the city hall and its surroundings. The Midnight Clown is said to work and sell ice cream from his van in front of City Hall, and eventually, the clown kills pedestrians or even the player with a pickaxe. Later on, the same myth hunter observed strange occurrences around City Hall. The only evidence regarding claims about murders committed by the clown is a red texture near the stairs of City Hall. This red texture is said to be a bloodstain, possibly one of the victims that the Midnight Clown murdered. It's also said that one might hear footsteps, giggles, and the evil laugh of the clown. However, despite its strange occurrences in the area, it's never confirmed if it actually involves the Midnight Clown. The Loch Ness Monster, also known as the Fisher's Lagoon creature or Nessie, most likely originated soon after the game released in 2004, when players reported seeing black lines in the water. Other eyewitnesses reported a more detailed sighting of the creature's arched head and neck above the surface of the water, resembling the famous real-life surgeon's photograph of the Loch Ness Monster. Fisher's Lagoon is the area with the most reported sightings of the monster. Another hotspot for sightings is southeast of Los Santos in the waters near Playa del Seville. Other places where they said the monster could be seen are the San Fierro Bay around the Gant Bridge and in the Ghost Lake in Baco Beyond. Players have said that they would put CJ in a boat and leave the game running through the night. The following morning, CJ would respawn at the hospital, hinting that the Loch Ness Monster killed him. Unseen deaths in GTA San Andreas are usually caused by either starvation or an airplane falling on the player. The Mysterix mod adds a fully modeled sea serpent to the bottom of Fisher's Lagoon. If the player touches the monster, they will instantly be killed. The widespread popularity of Mysterix led players to believing that dying upon interacting with the monster was a feature in the game. further causing random deaths in the water to be deemed a myth encounter. Many players have tried to debunk this myth by claiming that the underwater shadows are just visual glitches up until now. There's been very little proof that any large creature exists in Fisher's Lagoon, aside from various blurry photographs and videos. Rockstar's claimed multiple times that there is no Loch Ness monster in the waters of San Andreas. Blue Hell is the name given by the player community to the empty void underneath the landmass in all Grand Theft Auto games. The name originated with Grand Theft Auto 3, in which the area underneath the landmass is usually blue, but its color depends on what time of day it is. In GTA 3, when the player falls out of the map, the game will also display a hollow mirrors HOM effect. The player is not supposed to be able to access Blue Hell, but several game glitches, including holes in the world terrain, can result in the player ending up there. When the player falls into Blue Hell, they will fall through air for a few seconds before respawning on the nearest pedestrian pathway, or vehicular if the player is in a vehicle. This is a game mechanic implemented so the player doesn't end up falling indefinitely if they ever accidentally enter Blue Hell. Blue Hell in San Andreas is the easiest to access and explore with the use of the in-game jetpack. Whenever the player walks into a yellow bouncing ENEX marker to enter a home or building, the player is transporting to the corresponding interior within the interior's universe. Whenever the player is inside an interior, he is inside the hidden interior's universe. If the player finds a way to exit the interior without going through the door and he drops down to the ground, the whole world will be invisible. There are various methods for exiting an interior and being able to explore the hidden interior's universe. The easiest method of entering the universe is through the Ganton Gym in Los Santos. The ceiling above the entrance of the gym is not solid, and the player can obtain a jetpack and fly through the non-solid area and enter the interior's universe. If you don't want to use cheats and don't mind losing health, another method is to throw a grenade below the non-solid ceiling, then quickly jump above the grenade. If done correctly, it will propel you upwards into the hidden interior universe. Kifflom is the main god of the Epsilon program, a cult appearing in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas and 5. Kifflom was also the subject of a false myth in San Andreas alleging that he could be encountered physically in-game. He's one of the 3 deities that Epsilon members pray to. Kifflom is mentioned various times on the Epsilon program website, as well as in-game by several characters and pedestrians. Kifflom's also mentioned on the radio shows Area 53 and Entertaining America. Kifflom's actual appearance is not described at all in any official source, but the most famous depiction is a tall blue creature, humorously resembling some sort of large chicken with extended wings and 4 legs. Personally to me, it looks like they took the body of a cluck and bell worker and put it on a flying pig. Kifflom was depicted like this in the well-known Mysterix mod, which is where the rumor originates. There's no proof of any creature resembling that iteration of Kifflom within the game's internal files. The regular Tom Geyser is rumored to be a location where Kifflom appears. The surrounding geography near the geyser resembles the birthmark of the descendant of Croft, referenced on the cult's website, and other players speculate that Kifflom could be found in different parts of the Bone County Desert, likely influenced from the Mysterix mod.
Come on, show me what you got.
The origins of the Ring Girl began with a YouTube video in 2006 featuring CJ in his living room. He's looking around when a silhouette of a girl appears from the television in the corner and disappears a second later. Other than this video, there was no other proof that the mysterious girl existed in the game. It is believed that the Ring Girl was simply a pedestrian spawn glitch. The dark figure looks very similar to a homeless pedestrian that can be found in San Fierro, which has a God is playing with us sign hanging around his neck. There was even a video on YouTube comparing both the TV girl and the tramp pictures. Currently, the Ring Girl is remembered only occasionally, usually in a nostalgic tone, as there's no evidence of her existence beyond a short, blurred video. And now we have the final myth, which is the one I wanted to believe was real so bad just because of how real the videos I saw looked whenever I was a kid. It was around 2009, and that is the cave monster. The cave monster is around the Fort Carson cave next to one of the safe houses. I just remember being in that safe house. I would always go out to just see if that monster was there. And of course it wasn't. Let's go ahead with the description of the monster really quick. The cave monster is a creature that is reportedly found inside the Fort Carson cave near Fort Carson. It's said that the creature is an escape test project from Area 69 similar to the mutants. It was discovered that the myth came from a Clio mod, which is why it has an odd shape and a texture that cannot be found in vanilla. Their physical appearance is very similar to the mutants. The fact that the creature came from a Clio mod drops a bombshell on the myth's validity. I just remember being on YouTube and I would see the San Andreas multiplayer mods, like for New Year's and stuff like that. And all of a sudden this popped up and I was like, what could this even be? How is this real? And I spent more time than I want to admit sitting there looking for this stupid little creature in a cave, but here we are. And that's the end of the somewhat iceberg, not really iceberg. It's like an amalgamation of myths, legends, Easter eggs, and just, you know, stuff that's already in the game. So thank you guys for watching. I would really, really appreciate if you could like this video, share it with people that, you know, would like this kind of content, and subscribe. Really want to do more YouTube videos, so if you guys like this, tell me that you liked it. If you didn't, if there was parts of the video or anything that you didn't like, I know there's some where I mess up a little bit, but that's just because my mind reads faster than my mouth does, and I get tripped over my words sometimes, so there might be some mistakes in this video. But either way, you guys let me know what you want to see, and I've got a couple videos planned for the future, so thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you later.